Welcome back to Talk of the Town on 99.7, 1450 WHTC and WHTC.com.
And we welcome you back to WHTC's Talk of the Town for this Tuesday, June 2nd. I'm Gary Stevens. We'll have some open line following the 11 o'clock news block. And it's the first Tuesday of the month, which means we feel the zeal with our chat with Mayor Kevin Kleinstra now on our website at WHTC.com. You can listen or download at your convenience for free. We continue our Zealand-themed program today with the Master Gardener Jan Meeuwsen joining us from DeBrine Seed on Washington and Elm in downtown Zealand for our Yard and Garden Hour. Jan, good morning and welcome back.
Good morning.
We had a little fun last hour with our chat with you and basically Mr. Butternut wanting, being his demanding
stuff. He wanted to get in on that. Yeah, he sure did.
And then we saw him at the end just go back to his usual perch after surveying all that he sees from the windows over your left shoulder. But he is now back downstairs, I hope, being about and taking, saying hi to the...
He's sitting in the window watching the traffic right now.
Oh, okay. Of course, Mr. Butternut is the actual proprietor of DeBrine Seed. He just lets everybody work for him.
Yeah.
To provide his catnip and his food and his toys over at DeBrine Seed.
Yeah.
But if you have a question for Jan, she'll be happy to answer it at 395-1450, 395-1450. Let's get this I wouldn't say out of the way, but let's begin our program today with our regular weekly feature. Time now for the award categories and some of the things that Jan and the boys have been encountering over the past week at DeBrine Seed. Some of the more popular topics of discussion. And let's begin with our lawn problem of the week. And instead of deadheads or cone heads, we have seed heads.
In the lawn. Yes. This is, just all of a sudden, it's like every grass variety in the lawn has decided to send out seed heads right now. And that is because, we had that kind of a cool, and then we had a really cold spell in May, and then we had all that rain, and then all of a sudden it warmed up and the grass started growing really fast, and it's sending out seed heads. Nothing to be really alarmed about. Actually set your mower higher, not lower than it normally is. You can use a mulching thing and collect all the seed heads if you want. It's nothing that's going to be horrible for your lawn. It's just a very natural occurrence. Every once in a while, you get those weather conditions just right. You get the seed heads. Mow them off. They're coming back again this week, I see, on my lawn. So just, again, mow them off again. Don't worry about them. After they're all gone, the grass might look a little stemmy rather than nice blades of grass. You're going to want to put a little light application of fertilizer down to help grow it out of that stage, and it will get back to its normal, beautiful self.
Good morning. You're on the air with the Master Gardener Jan Meeuwsen.
Hi, Jan. Is it too late to put in stargazer lilies today?
I did some on Sunday, so I certainly hope not.
Oh, good. I think I'll do it today.
Okay.
Thank you.
I appreciate the call.
Okay.
395-1450, 395-1450. You can always get your questions in. We'll take two breaks, one for Patty Vandenberg's What's New Around Howland. That will be in about 10 minutes. And then we'll take another break about 1:45 or 10 to 11. But other than that, we'll have conversation with Jan at 395-1450. Let's stay with the issues of the week. And let's talk about tree problem, and that is black spots on maple Leaves, not Maple Leafs, as in that stupid hockey team in Toronto.
Yeah, we don't want to even talk about them, but the maple leaves that are turning black and falling off the trees. I mean, this looks horrible. I mean, like every leaf on the tree is black. And you're going to be pretty positive that this will never ever survive, but it will. It's a disease called anthracnose. It just happened because it will happen in one maple tree, but the next maple tree next to it will be fine. It just so happened that that maple tree had been budding out just on that week that we had all the cold freezing nights. That's what happened. It got anthracnose. It's not going to kill the tree. It will, all the leaves will fall. I just want you to pick up all the leaves. I know you don't want to rake and especially you, Gary, you don't want to rake this time of year, but you really got to get all those leaves out because it's got little fungal spores on it and you can reinfect other trees. So get all of those leaves out of there. The tree will send out new flush of leaves, so you don't have to worry about it. It just looks a lot worse than it really is.
No, I don't have to worry too much about raking. I do have to do some sweeping because the cottonwoods are starting to shed already.
I saw that yesterday. I was sitting out on my deck and I'm seeing these little white things go by and I went, no. So yeah, time to clean the screens every two days. Yes.
Yeah. Speaking about trying to sweep, I don't have a ladder at home, and I might have to try to figure out something because let's just say some nesting stuff has happened in one of the lofts of the carport, and I think we have a mama bird with baby birds in that area. Oh boy!
Oh, how sweet!
How sweet! Problem is though, mama bird's got discharge.
Yes, that is a problem. There is a thing that you can put up on the house if you get the sparrows and the things up in the eaves of your house. There's a thing that you can hang down. I found it at a show last year. It does work. So if you do have that problem, there is something for you.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm going to first have to get rid of that nest.
Yes,
and I don't want to do that with. I don't want to do that with little eggs in there right now. So I got to see exactly what's in that nest.
At least they grow up quickly, Gary.
Yeah, and then they can go away and
never come back. Yes,
and then get rid of the old housing and don't come back. Stay away. But let's talk about some of the other issues of the week, and let's talk about Alvin, Secret, and the chipmunks. They're still a problem.
And I know a lot of people, like my neighbors, love the little guys. They look so cute when they're running around, and my neighbors feed them, but they chew. If they get in your garage or your barn, they're going to chew everything apart. They'll chew your deck. They'll chew your deck furniture. They don't care. So they're very, very destructive. Last year, I was the mean neighbor and I trapped them all and killed them. But it's easy enough to do. They're pretty stupid animals. You can put out a trap and after the 10th time, you don't even have to set it with any kind of bait. They'll just run through it and die. Mm-hmm. So they're easy to trap, but get rid of them, especially if they're inside your garage or whatever, because they'll do just a ton of damage.
395-1450. Good morning. You're on the line with the Master Gardener Jan Meeuwsen.
Good morning. Barren strawberry plants. I have little holes in the leaves. Any ideas? And I don't see nothing like caterpillars, or I don't see nothing that could eat them.
Go out at night and look for slugs.
Okay.
That would be my thought. And that's my first thought.
Is there a chemical for that?
You can put out a slug bait that's it, and an organic slug bait will do it. Or you can put out the little cups of beer too. But yeah, you can use the slug bait around that. That's not a problem.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the call. 395-1450. Good morning. You're on the line with the Master Gardener, Jan Meeuwsen.
Hi, Jan. I just tuned in a few minutes ago and I heard you talking about leaves.
Now, we have a problem with leaves in my neighborhood. Just found out about it last night. There's a lot of them that are falling down and they're real wrinkled up and they're black.
Just talked about that. It's called anthracnose. It's a disease. You got to rake up the leaves.
Okay.
It won't kill
Okay.
your trees, but you need to get rid of the
Okay.
leaves. They'll send out more leaves later on, so don't worry about it. But get rid of the leaves that fall, and it won't kill anything.
All right.
You don't have to do anything.
Now, tell me what it is called again.
Anthracnose.
Anthracnose.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, that sounds pretty serious.
Doesn't it though? But it's not in your grown maple trees. It's not a problem.
Well, my tree doesn't have it nearly as bad as some down the street from me, but I thought I'd better find out what it is and what we can do about it. So,
Yep.
break 'em up,
Yep.
huh?
There's nothing you can do about it. It already has it, but it won't kill it.
All right. Is this a fungus?
It is a fungal disease, and it happened when the tree was just budding out. It was during that really cold, wet time that we had in May, and that's how it got the fungal disease.
Well, I thought maybe it was from the frost that might have happened during that time, but that's not it.
That was part of the problem. Yep. Mm-hmm. So yeah,
Okay.
it did not have good conditions when it was trying to bud out.
All right. Well, I'm glad to know that it isn't terribly serious.
Yeah, that's the good thing about it. Yes.
Uh-huh. Thank you.
I appreciate
You're
the call.
welcome.
Thank you. 395-1450. And of course, Jan was referring to the BUD out, not the BUTT out.
Yes, the bud out, the
Yeah.
budding of the trees. Yes.
Yes. Good morning. You're on the line with the Master Gardener Jan Meeuwsen.
Yes, I have bumblebees all over my deck, and they are making holes up in the wood. I have flowers, so I assume there's bees, but I've always had them. How can I get rid of them?
Those are not your typical bumblebees. Actually, those are the Carpenter Bees, and they do make holes in the wood, and they can be very destructive. So you're going to have to. We do have a Carpenter Bee Spray that you can spray in the holes, and there is some stuff that you can put around to kill those bees. We do not want those guys.
Right, and I don't want to kill nice bumblebees, but these are mean.
These are mean guys. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, there's a spray that you can spray inside the holes that you see, and it makes a foam once it gets inside, and it cuts swell, and it will kill the bees that are inside. So it's nice to do that like after, dusk, when they aren't flying around anymore and they're all in their hole. Then do that.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you
You're
very much
welcome.
for the call. 395-1450. Good morning. You're on the line with the Master Gardener Jan Meeuwsen.
Tell Jan to spell that. I want to write it down.
Anthracnose?
Anthracnose. ANTHRACNOSE.
CNOFE? CNOSE, right?
SE, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much
you're
for the
welcome.
call. 395-1450. Good morning. You're on the line with the Master Gardener Jan Meeuwsen.
Yes, I'm wondering what is the best way to get rid of poison ivy? It seems like it's spreading everywhere in the yard.
Oh boy. The brush killer works extremely well on poison ivy. It won't kill your lawn, but it will kill the poison ivy extremely well. Just make sure you're wearing long pants and long shirt, and you're not going to get it while you're out there. But yes, it will kill it. So you want brush killer for that, not just plain weed killer.
Okay, something like Roundup or something like that?
Well, Roundup makes a brush killer, so that would be fine, yes, but make sure it says brush killer on it.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you so very much.
Yep, you're welcome.
Thank you very much for the call. 395-1450. Good morning. You're on the line with the Master Gardener Jan Meeuwsen.
Good morning. For that lady that has the bees, something that I tried with hornets several years ago. It's cheap and easy. Just get a jar of water, and pour in probably a can of red pop or whatever. They go in there for that pop and they drown.
Oh, that's a thought.
Yeah, I did it with hornets. So hornets or yellow jackets or whatever they were, but it worked.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll
It's
see
worth
if
a
that
try.
works. Appreciate the call. Thank you for the call. 395-1450. Good morning. You're on the line with the Master Gardener, Jan Meeuwsen.
Yes, good morning. A beautiful morning. I'm wondering if it's too late to divide hostas and replant them.
Well, again, I went to a friend's house on Sunday and we did divide a few hostas and replant them, and they're doing well. So you know what? Do it during the cool morning or the evening hours when it's a little cooler. You should be fine.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for the call. 395-1450. Good morning. You're on the line with the Master Gardener, Jan Meeuwsen.
Yeah, Jan, a couple of questions. One is, I heard you talking about the chipmunks and trapping them. What kind of traps do you use for them?
It's called a gotcha trap, and it's about a 6-inch long gray trap. And you just push down one end, put the bait on, and that's it. There's nothing else. That's as hard as it is to set. And they go in there very, very readily and get killed. And it's not going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt anybody else. I've had it snap on my fingers already, and it didn't hurt me. So it's kind of a fun trap to use. And it's easy. I think it runs right around $6.50 right here at DeBrine's. Fun trap to use, but it's called a gotcha trap.
Okay, because I have grow boxes for vegetables, and they're digging in the dirt. I can't keep them away. But anyway, the other question is, we have in an area we have daffodils and tulips planted. The tulip bulbs are dried up pretty much already, the leaves, but the daffodils are not. And I want to plant other flowers. Can I just cut them daffodils right off at the ground level and plant the other flowers, or not?
Well, you really want the daffodil leaves to kind of die back too before you cut them off. I've got daffodil leaves that are just kind of laying there too right now that I'm waiting for them to die back. I feel for you. Next year the daffodils won't be quite as nice if you cut off the leaves right now, but if you cut off the leaves, give it some bulb food, and hopefully you can go ahead and plant what else you want to plant, or try to move the leaves over and plant in between if you can possibly do that. I plant mine too thick, so it's kind of hard for me to do that, but I would rather see you let it go till they die back.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the call. 395-1450. Let's get one more call before Patty Vandenberg's What's New Around Howland. Good morning. You're on the line with the Master Gardener, Jan Meeuwsen.
Yes, I was just wondering. I heard an ad about your place, and that you can put some grass down with something in it so that it'll come up and the birds and stuff won't eat the seed. I just don't know the name of it.
There is a mulch type thing that you can put over top of your grass seed, and yes, that works extremely well. It keeps the moisture in and keeps the birds and everybody else out.
Okay, but you don't have a grass seed that has something that would do that?
There is a product, I think a Scott's has got a product that you can just shake over the lawn that's got the mulch and everything in it. Yes.
Okay, do you know the name of that then?
It's just Scott. Excuse me. It says Scott's. I can't think of the name of it right now. But during the break, I'll go run downstairs and check it and tell you. Give it over the air.
Oh, okay. That sounds good. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much for the call. 395-1450, 395-1450. Jan, were you able to answer that question during the break? Go ahead.
Yes. The product is called Thicker Lawn. It's a Scott's product. It has seed, fertilizer, and mulch in it. Comes in two sizes, 1,200 square feet or 4,000 square feet.
So again, it's Thicker Lawn. Thicker Lawn. All right.
Thicker Lawn, yeah.
Patty Vandenberg has a question for you today.
Yes.
Morning, Jan.
Good morning.
I have well, as you well know, because you go by my house on your way home, I have my rhododendron that is just absolutely gorgeous right now.
Yes.
It is in my walkway, the service door into my garage.
Yep.
When is the best time to do one of two things? Either trim it down or move it.
Right after it's done moving. You can trim it. Moving,
Yeah,
blooming.
you said
Yeah.
blooming.
Moving. Right after it's done blooming, you can either move it or you can just trim it right down. Yeah, it's huge right now.
Yeah, it is. It's it's beautiful, but it's huge and it's kind of in the way.
Yeah, I can see how you'd have to go out the window and not out the door.
Okay, so after it's fully done blossoming, I can trim it down. And how far should it go?
You can take a third of it off.
A third. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And it'll make it easier to move too if you take a third of it down.
Okay. All right. I can do that. If you see me struggling, stop in.
I will.
Okay, thanks, Jan.
All right, 395-1450, 395-1450. Thanks to Patty Vandenberg for what's new around Helen and for that question. And if you got a question for Jan, she'll take it. We got a lot of calls today. Let's keep it going, shall we say. Good morning. You're on the line with the Master Gardener, Jan Meeuwsen.
Good morning. Jan, I'm in the kitchen, sliding glass door that opens up to a slab of concrete, a patio. And what I wanted was someone to, I'm not able to do it, is to put a raised garden out there. And I'm not getting much help on that. Is there any other alternative you could have, that's something you could raise on that? Food, flowers, whatever?
Well, there is an earth garden that you can buy, and it's movable. It's about, I'd say 3 feet wide, 3 feet long by about 1.5 feet wide. It's easily moved. It's on casters. You can plant it so you can move it around on that patio however you like. And as long as you got sunshine out there, you can plant with that. You don't have to have something built, and it's something movable that can go in the garage or whatever in the winter, or just up against the house somewhere. But an earth box would be a fun thing for you that you could actually, it's higher enough that you can actually work in it.
What do you think about the raised garden? Maybe I could solicit some help from my grandson.
I think that's a great idea. As long as you got sunshine there, a raised garden would be beautiful.
Well, thank you very much.
Yes, and have fun. Yes.
Thank you very much for the call. 395-1450, 395-1450. If you have a question, the Master Gardener will be happy to answer. And we've had a lot of questions so far. That means that we have to get back to our problems of the week. We have been talking about issues involving seed heads, black spots on maple leaves. And we've been dealing with Alvin and the chipmunks, and let's just say they're not the smartest animal on the block.
No, they are not.
David Seville, gives them too much credit.
Far too much credit. Yes.
But of course, squirrels are always a scourge. Any time of the year.
They are, yes. They actually eat some of my perennial leaves. So I hate squirrels. So, I'm always spraying everything with liquid fence, because otherwise they'll just come by and just mow everything right on down. They're nasty.
Doesn't matter if they are black squirrels, gray squirrels, or brown/red squirrels.
Yeah. Yeah, the red squirrels, while they don't seem to chew my plants, they like to chew any wood surfaces that you might have around. But it's me against the animals in my lawn this summer.
All right. And of course, one of the animals that can fight back with the odors.
Yes, and this is one thing, thank you, that I do not have is skunks in the backyard in the middle of the night. And they're looking for insects in the ground. And it's kind of funny because they'll put their little nose in the ground and then they circle around and they can sense where the insects are, and they will just dig up the lawn. You cannot imagine how much damage they can do in one night.
So, what do you do to try to get rid of those guys without being fumigated?
Yes, I mean, some people do try trap them. They've got that. You can do a trap. You got to make sure you put a blanket over it so they don't spray you. But they're putting an insecticide on the lawn there to try get rid of any insects might be worth a try. They're just horrible. So I would suggest putting insecticide down first. You might try get a light back there, that motion activated light. So when they come back there, it turns on, and they don't like that. Unfortunately, they get used to it. But once they start destroyed your lawn, they'll go on to the neighbor's lawn anyway. So let's at least save what you can of your lawn by getting a good insecticide down and water it in.
395-1450 if you have a question for Jan Meeuwsen. We're going over some of the problems of the week. It's a little bit early normally, but let's put it this way. Those industrious ants are starting to become a problem.
They're a huge problem that everybody that comes in, I've got ants. If you've got sandy soil right now, you have ant hills that look like termite mounds. It's incredible. The soil is a little bit dried out from the last rain, so the ant hills are popping up. And that one rain that we had, that was 5 inches or whatever, really made the ants go to certain areas and raising havoc right now. So you might want to go around your house right now with the liquid fence, not liquid fence, with a home defense, and just spray around your house so they don't come in the house. And then you can always put some home defense on the lawn also to get rid of the ants on your lawn. Because in places they are really bad.
Does that draw as a skunk in terms of the ants? Those type of insects they go after?
Not really. They go after usually bigger things.
Okay.
There are, cinch bugs and all kinds of fun stuff in the ground right now. They'll go after the bigger things. They're not after little ants. And little ants have that formic acid in them, and most animals don't like to eat them.
No, don't blame them. We don't blame them at all.
No,
let me step aside for a second, and we're talking about insects. Cicadas. They're supposed to be kind of populous now in certain areas. Maybe not so much here.
No, Michigan doesn't really have a they've got one population of the 17-year cicadas, but we've got a really small population. But there are a couple of states south of us that have big populations, and they're going to be crawling with cicadas in just a little bit. I can't imagine what that must be like. But yeah, they're big, but they don't hurt you. They don't have mouth parts that are going to bite you or whatever. They won't hurt. In fact, dogs and cats seem to like to eat them for whatever reason. But they're big. They're out, and they're going to not really feed on anything, but they're going to mate, and then they lay their eggs, and they make a lot of noise.
Yeah, that's the problem. You can't get your sleep.
Can you imagine millions of these things? I mean, we get an occasional, but I can't imagine how loud it must be in some of these states. And people actually, it's like a tourist attraction. They go where all the cicadas are hatching to see all of them coming out of the ground.
Let's hope nobody decides to try to bring some of them back.
Oh gosh, no, we don't need them up here.
I mean, we have enough problems with other invasive species. We don't need that.
We don't need that. We've got the cicadas that come up every other year, so you don't get that huge number of cicadas coming out at one time. So that's kind of nice, and that's just the way I want to keep it.
We have discussed how much you like hummingbirds.
Yes.
And we talked about ways to attract the hummingbirds. But I believe you are also a fan, although maybe to a certain extent, more limited than the hummingbirds. But you are a fan of woodpeckers.
I love woodpeckers, yes.
And that's our bird of the week.
Yes, the bird of the week is a special woodpecker. It's called the Pileated Woodpecker. Doesn't usually show up in our backyards because it is huge. It's 1.5 feet tall. It's got a great big beak on it. This thing is huge. When it sits there and drums and looks for ants in trees, you can hear it quite a ways away, and it can make quite a big hole in the dead and dying trees. So kind of a cool woodpecker. It looks almost prehistoric when you see it. Kind of neat. It's got kind of a red head, got a little striping on it. Really cool. But now what we normally see are like the little hairy and the downy woodpeckers in our backyard at our little suet feeders, the feeder of the week. Fun to put up a suet feeder. You'd be surprised at how many birds will go to a suet feeder.
Now the question is, do these bigger woodpeckers get sort of muscle in on the neighborhood, especially if you got that suet feeder there and, sort of muscle the little ones out of there?
It would try, but it is so big, it probably couldn't perch on it and then get its head down there to get it. So I've seen it go on like platform feeders and just devastate it. It's fun to watch the great big ones, and if you're lucky enough to have see them, they're fun to watch. There used to be a pair in Dutton Park in Holland, and you could hear those guys just hammering away, and every once in a while you get a glimpse of them, and they are a cool thing to see.
It's not as rare as, say, the peregrine falcon or the bald eagle around these parts.
No, it is a close cousin to the ivory-billed woodpecker, which is that one that down in Louisiana that everybody claims to see every once in a while, but that's probably extinct. But this guy's a little more populated. It likes to be more in a woodsy area than in your subdivisions, but every once in a while you'll get one of these great big things at your feeder.
One final thing that since we've been basically spending the program talking about problems and taking phone calls, which is not a problem, but it's certainly we appreciate that. The weed of the week is called hawkweed. Tell us what this weed is all about and why it's the weed of the week.
Well, actually, people misidentify this as a dandelion because it's the same. It can be either orange or yellow, and the yellow ones look like kind of they look from a distance look like a dandelion, and most of the dandelions are gone now, waiting to come back later. But right now it's the hawkweed. Comes up a little bit taller than the dandelion, and it has multiple stems on its so you have multiple flowers on it. That's one way you can tell it apart. Likes to grow in real infertile soil. So this is the one you're going to see along the roadsides and things like that. So it's not a dandelion when you're driving by in your car. It's called a hawkweed. But if you pick it, it looks just like a dandelion.
You treat them like that? You treat them like a dandelion?
Yeah, just like a dandelion, normal broadleaf weed killer will get it. Yep.
Yeah. All right. With that, we'll end our awards ceremony for this week. And of course, next week we'll have more of the problems that Jan and the boys try to answer at the Brine Seed over on Washington and Elman, downtown Zeeland. Don't really have enough time to go over any particular topic. I just want to remind people that, of course, Jan Meeuwsen, the Master Gardener, you can find her at the Brine Seed. Still limited hours, or are you expanding a little bit more?
We'll expand probably next week, but it's still 8 to 4 right now, and then 8 till 1 on Saturday.
And that's, of course, on Washington and Elman, downtown Zeeland. Just look for the little bird sign, and they'll be happy to accommodate you. If you can't make it to the Brine Seed, Jan will be able to take your phone calls between 11 and 12 with the Jan Meeuwsen Garden Show here on WHTC. And, of course, every Tuesday morning between 8:35 and 1450 with WHTC's Garden Party on the morning news. And then, of course, during the Yard and Garden Hour here on Talk of the Town. Jan, we want to appreciate you joining us through our Google Meet connection today. Wish you and everybody at DeBrine's well, even the boss.
The boss, yes.
Yes, even the boss, Mr. Butternut. And we'll talk to you next week. Thank you.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you very much. That is the Master Gardener Jan Meeuwsen on WHTC's Talk of the Town program.